Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome yet again to another episode of Lunch Guide. Today I'm going to be bringing something festive to the table. I'm going to be showing you how to make a rice pudding, but just a special way, the Christmas way. So without any further ado, I'm just going to introduce the ingredients. So I'm going to be working with some beautiful yellow imported lemon. I've got some ginger and some vanilla essence. I've also got some cinnamon powder. I've also got some cinnamon sticks, some cardamom sticks, and some cloves. I've got also a bit of cream there, a bit of beautiful jasmine rice, some regular full cream milk, some white sugar, a bit of butter, and a little bit of salt. So without further ado, we're going to take our break, and now we're going to allow you to just grab your pens and papers if you're taking notes for this show. And when we come back, we're going to go dive and straight go into the cooking process. See you after a short while. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We took a short commercial break, and now I'm just going to show you how to actually bring about a beautiful rice pudding. So very simple, simple things to remember. Particularly for jasmine rice, you want to work with a very superior brand of rice. So I would recommend, if you do have any jasmine rice, if you have any risotto rice, those particularly work really well. They're very beautiful rices, and they do have that beautiful starch that actually brings about the beautiful flavors. Another thing also to remember, very important to use some beautiful seasonings for your rice pudding. I particularly like to use my raw spices, and all I do with those is I actually just put them in my pestle and mortar and actually manage to be able to bring the pure pungency of the spice. So we're just going to break those up. As for the cardamom pods, we just need to knock them once. For the cloves, just smash the heads. For the cinnamon sticks, those speak for themselves. So for the cardamom pods particularly, this you want to smash and just get them to split, because the beautiful flavors are actually inside there. So this we're just going to move into a pan, and we're just going to move the pan around. Just give them a bit of time to just get the aroma developing. So that should take you just under a minute. And you should just be able to start picking up the cardamom and the cinnamon flavors just before you go in with the milk. So that's about enough time. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of milk. And we're just going to let that come to the boil. So I am going to turn my temperature a little higher. And in the meantime, we're going to incorporate some of the ingredients here as well. So I'm going to add just about half a teaspoon of butter. So just add that to the pot. I will also be adding just about 1/2 teaspoon to 3/4 teaspoon cinnamon powder. Just a small pinch of salt for flavor. And last but not least, our vanilla extract, which is about 1 teaspoon. And then we're also going to be grating some ginger, so we're just quickly going to peel this. And I like to use a spoon, particularly because this actually reduces the amount of waste. So all I do is hold the spoon against my fingers like that, and using my thumb as my support, all I do is work my spoon around the ginger root, and the skin will easily come off really quick. You can actually also do the same technique just under some running water in your tap. It should be able to actually get that extra skin that comes out of your ginger root really quick. So very simple. And that we're not going to chop that. We're just going to quickly grate it here. So I'm just going to use the zester. So just about 1 teaspoon of ginger should do. If you're using powdered ginger, or if you're using ginger powder, you can always go with about 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons, because it's not as pungent. So ginger in. We could discard the rest. Right, very simple. And now all you're going to do is just give that a mix. And once your milk just starts to come to the boil, once you start seeing the bigger bubbles at the top, remember we are not going to allow this to boil, we just want it to come to the boil and then regulate our temperature. And to that, we are going to first get some sugar in there. So I'm going to add just about a quarter cup of sugar to half a cup. And I'm just going to use my whisk just to get that to mix a little faster. Right, so I'm just going to bring the temperature a little higher. Just give that a nice mix. And what you want to do at this stage, remember we've got some raw spices in there which we actually need to take out. So all I'm going to do is grab a fresh pan, and all we are going to do is strain this into the pan. Remember the cloves and the cinnamon sticks might not be really nice to actually have inside your pudding, and if you're serving it to kids, they might not be able to detect it's in there. So it's only safer that we take them out now once we've infused our milk. So just pour that through your sieve and just continue with the process. So to that, so our sugar is now nicely dissolved in there. All I'm going to do now is add about half a cup of rice. All we are going to do is just mix that in and now bring it to the boil, and now just consistently mix this. I always insist as well, because you might not be able to measure the ratio of your rice to your milk, it doesn't cook the same way it would with water. Always reserve a bit of milk on the side just to make sure if it actually starts to become really, really dry, you do have some milk that you can actually add into it. Although I insist, before you add the milk, remember this is already hot, this is cold. What would happen is you would actually form cream really, really fast. So what you should do is boil the milk or heat it in the microwave and then add it slowly if you do actually need to add any milk in there. So we're just basically going to allow that to continue cooking for about 10 to 12 minutes. And we're going to take a short commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to check on the rice. We're going to see what it looks like. And we're just going to finish it off with some of that cream and some of that beautiful lemon that's sitting on the side there. So please don't touch the dial. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We took a short commercial break and we were working on our rice pudding, which is now just about done. So as you can see, it's now doubled in size. The rice is now just about fully cooked, but remember we want it just to have a little bit of bite. So this is just about thick enough. So what we do is we're going to give it a small taste just to make sure it's good. So just to finish this off, I'm going to be adding about 3 teaspoons of fresh cream, double cream. And now I can turn off the heat and just mix the cream in. So the beautiful thing about the cream, first of all, it slows down the process of cooking. And it also actually adds a nice, beautiful, velvety finish to the dish in general, and it actually enriches it as well. Right, so now that's about done. So just to finish that off, I remember I have a lemon here, which I'm now going to show you what we'll do with. So all I'm going to do is use my knife and take a very, very thin layer of that beautiful green skin. So I'm just going to take about 2 of those, and we can actually save the lemon for later. And all I'm going to do is use the knife to take out the inner core of that rind. So the white bit is the one we're taking out. This is mostly the one that's really bitter. So we're just going to slice through like that, very, very thin slice. And as you can be able to see, all you're left with is a very, very beautiful rind of lemon. So what we are going to do with that is just finally chop that. So very, very thin slices. Right, just about that size. So very, very, very thin slices, just like that. And now all we are going to do is use this beautiful ladle to plate. So I'm just going to give it another thorough mixture just before we plate it. This is just to make sure the consistency is right. And all we do is about 2 servings. So I'm just going to go with 1 ladle full. And maybe just another small one right on top of that. And that is a very, very, very beautiful rice pudding. So just to finish that off very, very simply, I'm just going to grab that beautiful rind we chopped up earlier and just finish that off by topping that with a bit of rind. So beautifully crafted, the rind actually carries a very, very, very beautiful citrusy flavor. Once you take out the inner rind, the inner white part of the rind, it actually really, really gives a beautiful aroma, and actually you can actually just get the beautiful citrusness coming through the dish. So the dish is now done. Rice pudding is as simple as that. As I said, very, very simple dish, something you can make in a span of a few minutes. Very fresh, very much done to order, and a very, very good finisher to any of the dishes that you could actually be enjoying this particular festive season. So that is my beautiful tribute to you this Christmas. Rice pudding with a bit of cream. Any substitutions or additions I would put to that, I would probably use also coconut milk instead of regular full cream milk. Also gives it a nice beautiful coconut velvety finish. And maybe some condensed milk as well in place of cream. If you are trying to avoid using cream, you can actually go in with condensed milk. It will give you a very, very beautiful finish as well. So from the studios and myself, it has been a pleasure. You have been watching Lunch Guide, and my name is Chef Andy. Until the next episode, I do bid you farewell and a beautiful, beautiful Merry Christmas. Have a lovely day.